What's up, guys? Matthew here, getting ready to watch episode 1134 of One Piece. Obviously, there was no episode last week. Week before, Kuma has just made it to Vegapunk with Bonnie, so I'm very excited to see the exact specifics. Well, I don't even know. Well, it's One Piece, so I'm probably not going to get exact specifics, but I'm interested to continue the flashback. You guys know this flashback has been absolutely incredible. In one of the best post-time skip arcs, I gotta be honest. So I'm ready to get into it. You guys know me, I'm gonna yap a lot throughout the episode. I'm gonna yap a lot at the end. No reason to wait any longer. If you guys liked the video, please drop a like and leave a comment. I would really appreciate it. I have got the full-length reactions up on Patreon. I've got all of the episodes of Egghead on my Patreon. If you're interested, check it out. And finally, most importantly, if you enjoy my content, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. Again, it really helps me out. Let's get into it. God damn, young Kizaru. He's so cool! He's just so cool! So I would assume he's sent there on orders by Saturn. He's gonna become close friends with them. So he's not a Punk Hazard. Different place. Damn. Surprised they haven't made like a transponder snail like locator. Is there mics in here too? Yeah, there's mics in here. Just doing my job. Oh wow. I love One Piece does those little quick shots. Jesus Christ, his voice is so... they weren't popular anyway, I feel. Damn. This music. I forget that guy's name. I know that he was the old, he was the old ruler of Hachinosu before Blackbeard, I think, maybe? Jesus! Well, at that point, there's no... And of course, because Kuma is the greatest person in the world, he obviously goes through with it. He's pissed, man. Me? No. Take away his consciousness? Or what? You gonna kill me? Bitch, I'm gonna teleport away with my kid and Vegapunk. I'll kidnap him. Damn, Vegapunk fought too. I thought he would just go with it and then modify shit in the background. And do they screw him over anyway? Do they, you know what I mean? Do they capture the daughter? Like, obviously she's the daughter of some celestial dragon. I don't know if they're gonna find out the father and... I have goosebumps at... Oh my... He's so... He's the greatest person in the world! Like, it is such a rock on a hard place because he is the perfect person to clone and make weapons for the Navy, but... Oh my god. And, like, to me, Kuma still doesn't even have that worth. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's been treated like an absolute piece of shit, monster, piece of dirt his entire life. So it doesn't matter if he sacrificed himself. At least his amazing daughter gets to... Aww. Why are his feet so big? Okay, he gets... He got a little bit of time left with her. Oh, shut the fuck up, Saturn. When is it? She's also really afraid of bugs. When are the bugs gonna come into play? No! I don't trust you to... That's a while, dude. Enslaved? Dude, I fucking... I hate this, man. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, any good One Piece villain, they do some fucking despicable shit, but Jesus Christ, I hate him. Negotiate! Negotiate! He looks like Bogart there. Damn. This man feeling it. Kizaru is feeling it. Why would I leave you? You too, yay. What you mean? So we're gonna see the creation of the satellites? I forget the exact part in the timeline where he transfers it. Ah, okay. If only. No, it's so cute. But it's what you want to do, and you're gonna do it. What a great master manipulator. Is it hurting him? Get some anesthesia on this man. Oh Jesus, that's actually a horrifying visual as someone who's familiar with celestial dragons. That's kind of... Aww. Bonnie, again, I don't want to say Bonnie's like a top 20 or top 30 character, but she very quickly, relative to One Piece, you know what I mean? She's been in the show for essentially like 50 total episodes. That's a lot of time, in a way. But she's really got risen up high in how much I like her. Oh my god, he's definitely gonna do that shit. Damn, these guys... He used to have his citizens, I don't even know if these are citizens, workers. They're doing a lot of shit. Current day, it just felt like the Vegapunks handled everything. Aww. She just straight up drinking beer, or she got orange juice or some shit. Yeah, she got a different color. Ah, don't say that shit out loud. Is that we're gonna do it? Oh, I hate this fucking heroic ass amazing dance circus music in the back. Cause it's giving me goosebumps. I don't want goosebumps. Cause it's a horrible situation. Is the government not watching this, shutting this shit down? What did the surgery include? Like, we're not pulling them off or anything. Are we going inside and pulling at the root? Or feeding her something? Dang, I know he had to get a one last farewell sort of thing, but he could have just teleported his ass over here. I always use the word teleport with Kuma. It's not teleporting, it's flying, sending them. But I like teleporting as a word. 連れて行きたかった。 You stupid. Nah.
Kuma-san?
なんだいこの女。
ドクターの言いつけでボニーちゃんの病気完治まで
Hello?
付き添わせていただきます。毎日の検温、お薬一錠、わずかな変化をチェックします。
Hello? Who said that? That was weird.
おい、表に何を立てた。
我々の宿泊小屋
I was gonna say, did they build a jail?
不審人物は近づけられませんので、皆さん身分証を。
Jesus!
子供の首なんて造作もないからね。
Oh my god, get that fucking One Piece East Blue ass plot twist sound.
行ってくるよ。気をつけてね。ボニーのことは心配する。
Oh, well, don't worry about Bonnie. Don't worry about me. It's not like he's smiling too. Like, how can you not smile? Because you helped your baby girl, and obviously once you get far enough away and you realize that, not realize, but you think about the situation. I'm gonna get Dragon's reaction. Wow! Damn, we get a fucking sugar? My boy, the best character in this goddamn show. Wow! Back in Robin's prime, when she was a shitty person. Really, dude? You just make them. Oh my, we're getting everyone! Wow! Who's stronger, him or me? You're a bum! Hanafuda. Damn. Are we going to see them get their Seraphim as well? I don't know when that happens. Like, I don't know if it was like a procedure or they just took a little bit of DNA. Gloriosa. Oh, I need Moria and Perona to join Cross Guild as soon as possible. Wow. I'm getting ordered around. Damn, you dropping all the fucking papers, bro. Is he going to see Luffy? Or do something with Garp? Wow. Okay, so that was... that may be connected to the order. I don't know. He might have just went there to visit Dragon's kid, because Dragon probably told him about him. Another episode of One Piece, another heartbreaking, emotion-destroying Kuma beatdown. Okay, again, another great episode. I'm very excited, because, again, I would think, well, I would think that the order is, like, somewhat... I actually don't know. Because I was just thinking at the end with Kuma being in the East Blue near Windmill Village, I would have assumed that he was going to go see Luffy there for reasons, just because connected to Dragon, or maybe Dragon's there, and they're having like a meeting or anything like that. Or the order is doing something with Garp at Windmill Village, and there he will see Luffy. And again, I'm going to 100% assume... well, because you even think about to Sabaody, like, I would assume between where the flashback is and where Sabaody happens, Dragon and Kuma do not interact, either that much or at all. Probably at all. I could be wrong about that, though, but Dragon would have told Kuma about his kid, so. And then but maybe he even didn't, because I don't know. Obviously, I wonder what... Again, I'm going to assume that Kuma knows that, or knew that Luffy was Nika the Sun God. like what in an actuality, like looking at him, what tips him off? Is it just the humor, the emotions, the feeling, you know what I mean? Or is there like anything that like it's a 100%? I don't know. I do not know. I really liked seeing Kizaru, and especially Sentamaru. Like seeing Sentamaru become like a little sappy little huggable baby near Bonnie. It's cute. Obviously, all the shit that happens. You know what I mean? But I also really like Kizaru, and I would argue just thinking about the rest of the arc, because again, I don't know how many episodes there's going to be. One of my, I don't want to call it complaints, but one of my fears when Kizaru was introduced into the arc was that, again, Kizaru should be one of the strongest people in the fucking world. I did not want to see Luffy just fucking 1-2 beat Kizaru, you know what I mean? But at full strength. But it's now obvious to me that he's not at full strength. Whether or not that's a like an actual, like, you know, he's upset about all this shit so he's weaker, or just in like a sense of he's not trying as hard. I see that, you know what I mean? So it's almost like a good writing excuse to be like, okay, well, you know, I want Kizaru to still be in the story, but I don't want him to win right now, so I don't know. Again, I would hope, because that's the thing with the world government, you know what I mean? If Kizaru loses, a part of me would be like, are they going to kill him for failure or anything like that? Because, you know, the shit what they do with Gecko Moria, or they tried to do with Gecko Moria. I loved seeing those flashbacks of everyone. I really like shit like that, and I think that's why Egghead has been one of my top 7 arcs. I think it's number 7 as of right now. I think it's number 7. I think my number 8 would be Marineford. Number 7 would be Egghead. Number 6 is Sabaody. I think because Sabaody ends just so absolutely perfectly that I'm gonna have to wait until Egghead finishes to put it above it. But I expect Egghead to surpass Sabaody. I don't know if it's gonna quite get to Dressrosa Whole Cake level for me. It's 100,000% not gonna get to Impel Down or Water 7 Annie's Lobby for me, but that's the cream of the crop. That's the, you know what I mean, the peak of this 1,100 plus episode show. So this arc has been very, 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 very good. And again, I think I said in the beginning, either towards the beginning of the reaction or my pre-discussion, but Egghead has been so good for post time skip. And I was talking to my friend about this the other day, who I had convinced him to watch One Piece, and he's slowly been watching it. And he's binged it over these last like 3 months. He's, you know what I mean, he's just about caught up now. And you know, we have, you know, long discussions about it, and obviously, like, it's just a fact. Post time skip has its flaws writing wise, specifically like in terms of, you know, writing the Straw Hats, giving them meaningful character arcs. You know, most of the time it just kind of feels like they're there in the background being flanderized. And that sucks. But in addition to that, I think that specific arcs have problems. Like, you know, for instance, that's been prolific on my channel. I do have some problems with Wano as an arc. I'm not going to get into them now, but I think there are problems in Wano, to be specific. So not only do you combine problems with Wano, but you also have post-time skip problems. And to me, Wano as an arc has a lot of, you know, combined problems, like I just said. Something like Egghead, obviously, it has post-time skip flaws. You know what I mean? The Straw Hats aren't really that focused on in terms of like giving them something actually impactful emotion-wise. But everything else, everything about Egghead is perfect. It, again, not only does it not have specific, you know, problems or issues with pacing or, you know, whatever, but it also, again, like I said, it still has a couple post-time skip problems, but it alleviates a lot of them. One of the problems for me, for the entire show, is the fact that they don't focus on anything on the outside world. I think, to me, that's probably the biggest missed opportunity of One Piece in general, but this arc has done an amazing job. Even, like, not even just saying, like the Garp shit, and, the, you know, the Kobe shit, and we got Crossgill, and we got Sabo, we got Revolutionary Army, we got Law, we got Kid, Blackbeard, Shank, like, we got all of these people. But not only that, we're getting these quick little flashes, like, just not reminding the audience as in they would forget about them if they weren't on screen, you know, every Adam episode, but just more of like, okay, yep, they're still in play. They're still in play, and even if it's a flashback, they're still in play. We still gotta see how people end up. I really like that. And I also, I like when there's like, you know, like a random, like, oh, we're getting dope from, like, oh, Sugar's there too. Like, it's just like, oh, hey, Sugar. It's probably been like 600 episodes. It's been like 400, 300, 400 or something like that. So, again, I don't know if it's the correct vocabulary. I don't know if I can say that I'm loving this little flashback, because at the same time, you know, it's such good quality, but also it makes me want to fucking punch the screen half the time. Saturn is a fucking menace, man. He's an absolute menace. I'm interested too, because at this point, I don't know if Kuma and Bonnie will ever see each other again. You know what I mean? I would assume they're gonna see each other in like the modern arc, the current arc. Kuma's probably gonna show up, do some shit, have a final sacrifice, something like that. But I mean, in terms of the flashback, that might be the last time that they see each other. You know what I mean? So I'm just wondering, like, with Bonnie specifically, obviously she does go into government custody. I don't know if it's something like she goes back to, like she waits a year or two, and Kuma doesn't show up, and she leaves, goes to Vegapunk's lab and gets like kidnapped there, or, you know, held as hostage or something like that, or whatever. But I'm intrigued, man. So also, I think that this arc is the perfect opportunity to show Vegapunk, you know, creating the satellites, or to show all this stuff. I liked getting some Ace. Again, that's obviously Oda is an all-time great writer. There's no, you know what I mean? He's one of the highest selling. He's a great writer. I think sometimes, I don't know how to explain it. You can tell when Oda is cooking. You know what I mean? As opposed to, you know, there are a couple times when Oda's like, yeah, I mean, this arc's okay, I guess. What I love about this arc is there's such a mixture, a perfect, you know, concoction of all the characters. We got a decent amount of Ace in this episode, and it's not, obviously he's fucking dead, you know what I mean? So it's not like we're building him up or anything. We're just getting a little bit of Ace. We saw fucking Whitebeard. We saw Jim. Like, I love when they do that shit. It makes the world feel so much like a world. And I was actually just thinking about this the other day, and again, I don't want any One Piece fanboys to like misunderstand what I'm saying. To me, well, first of all, One Piece to me, you know, when you go on the internet, it's always described as, oh, the best world building of all time. To me, I think that there's a difference between world building and the world. I think that One Piece definitely has one of the greatest worlds in the history of fiction. But in terms of world building, I don't think that One Piece is particularly excellent at it. Because Oda's writing style is very much keep everything so vague and so mysterious that whenever he does finally come up with a final idea, you know, I mean, his final draft, he can just go back and slot it in. Oh, well, there was an empty spot over there, so I filled it in. You guys understand what I mean? I think people are very sort of misunderstood in Oda's writing style. Oda is not someone who, you know, in episode 7 had 20 million things lined up for the next 1,000 episodes. Like, no. He kept things so vague so that when he eventually comes up with a final answer, it looks like it's perfect foreshadowing. I don't want anyone to think he has planned a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? But he didn't come up with 1,000 episodes of shit. Like, it's very obvious. And going into that, to me, sometimes that writing style again makes an amazing world. I don't necessarily like the people not speaking basic dialogue or basic information out loud because it's not set in stone yet. So Oda doesn't want to say anything because he might change his mind later down the line. But when you do episodes like this, when you sort of flow the entire world together, you have, you know, essentially warlords, you know, discussing each other. You have different pirate groups running into each other or talking with each other, or you know what I mean? That's world building. That's world building to me. And when Oda focuses on that, it's great. You know what I mean? So I really like that episode. Again, I'm so interested because how many more episodes am I thinking this flashback is going to be? Because it's not like I get the feeling that it's like 60% done this flashback. So we probably got like 5 more episodes, something like that. How long is the Egghead arc after that? Again, I'm very blind. I don't know anything about the manga. Or anything. The only thing I know about the manga is that it's in the Elbaf arc. But I mean, I feel like I went to the Elbaf arc a while ago, like maybe 6 months ago or something like that. I think I heard the news. So again, the Egghead could be 10 more episodes in total, or it could be 30 episodes in total, or 50. Like I don't know the exact chapter conversion for the manga. I don't even know what chapter they're currently on, so I'm intrigued because I could see a world in which, because that's the thing I'm thinking too. Like is Saturn going to get like a Kaido level fight? I would assume not, just because of the sort of the emphasis on like, okay, shit, we got to get out of here. You know what I mean? Like Luffy and Saturn might have a boxing match, or you know what I mean, a quick fight or something like that. But I could very much see a world in which we finish the flashback in like 5, 6, 7 episodes. We come back for like 15 episodes where all hell is broken loose. We get, you know what I mean, like a continuation of the Zoro Lucci shit. We see Luffy intervene with Saturn real quick, give him a 1-2 piece. Because again, like Luffy isn't gonna kill Saturn. You know what I mean? Because even then, someone like Kizaru, I know that the last time we saw Kizaru, he had like sat up or woken up from being knocked out. I don't even know if you can say knocked. He was in the midst of standing up talking to Saturn, I believe. So that might be the last I see of Kizaru in a fight. I genuinely don't know so far. So I'm interested to see. Obviously, I hope that there's another episode next week. I feel like since we've returned from break, it's been very much like you get four episodes in a row and then a break, and I like that. I really like that. Again, going back to right when I started One Piece, like I'm talking like I'm in the 100s, 200s. I started watching in February of 2022. I remember just speaking to my friend and also another friend, but also a coworker who had begged me to watch One Piece, and that was a part of it. It was, man, I like the show a lot, but the pacing, not even in like it's taking too slow, because as I've spoken about multiple times on the channel, in other reaction series, I love One Piece's pace in terms of like it's slow and it takes a while, but like I'm fine with that. I would much rather it be drawn out than it be rushed. I hope there's no anime purists in here. For instance, I think that Code Geass pacing is the worst pacing of any anime I've watched because it's so fast that it feels rushed. I much prefer One Piece's to Code Geass, if that makes any sense. But the thing that I don't like is that One Piece episodes feel like 14 minutes of content. You know what I mean? So it's hard to watch just pure episodes sometimes. It kind of, you know what I mean? It just kind of feels like, That's the one sucky part about catching up, is you have to watch again. You get like 15 minutes of content each week, but what are you gonna do? But I can't wait for the rest of the arc. Along with that, real quick, 'cause I forgot my point. I when I was catching up, when I was talking to my friends, and I ran into a filler, or I ran into, you know what I mean, poor pacing, they would try to be like, no, it's excusable because there's an episode every week, and I thought that was such a dumb thing, because I don't want an episode a week. Obviously, I love One Piece. You know what I mean? If they could give me a full goddamn episode of One Piece every day of every week, I would be, filled with joy. I love watching the show, but in actuality, in a realistic nature, how long episodes take and production quality and all that, I don't need them to, rush or stretch episodes so that I get one every week. I would much rather them have just good, solid 20-minute episodes whenever they feel like they can. You know what I mean? If they want to go on a 2-week break, that's fine. You have to think about it. Yeah, there's like a novelty act when it comes to One Piece releasing an episode once a week, but no other anime, to my knowledge, does that. I mean, I think the longest animes or manga is like Detective Conan or something like that. I know nothing about it, but I think that's more episodic, like Criminal of the Week or something like that. And I can't speak on that show. I don't know. But from what I've seen, you know what I mean, in my years of being an anime fan, the only anime that I know releases one episode a week is One Piece. So it's not like it needs to do that. No, you can take breaks. It's perfectly fine. I was perfectly fine with the 6-month break, because the episodes that followed, you know, right when we came back, you know, 11/23, 11/24, and etc. They were amazing quality. So please continue doing that. I'm perfectly fine with that. Okay, that's my pacing rank. That's my pacing rant. That's my weekly break rant. I'm perfectly fine if they take a break next week, but I hope not. But I'll see you guys hopefully next week for the next episode. If you guys liked the video, please drop a like and leave a comment. I'd really appreciate it. I've got the full-length reactions up on Patreon. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, I have all of the full-length reactions to the Egghead arc from 1089 and onward over on my Patreon at $7 a month for animated shows. Check it out if you're interested. And finally, most importantly, if you enjoy my content, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. Again, it really helps me out. I'll see you guys. You guys have a good one.